Okay, we're going to talk about the combination of PQR modules when there's four R's or four P's or four Q's. I should say that in order. So I'm going to start calling the 4P tetrahedron M and the 4Q tetrahedron N and the 4R tetrahedron O. This here is tetrahedron O or 4R. I don't have the 4R modules delineated because it's kind of interesting how quickly they don't become necessary, but as a group of four they do. That's not to take away with their volume equivalency. As you can see on this 4R or O tetrahedron, there's a bunch of stuff going on each face, but let's ignore that for a minute. Let's just acknowledge this edge here to this edge here. The longer edge is, let's say, 1.618 or phi to 0.618 or phi to the negative 1. And the other four edges are going to be 1. That's the ratio. 1.618 for this one here to 1, and then down to 0.618 in the ratio. Okay, I'll take the skins off now. We better do this right. Okay, I don't want to just take part of one off. I think I can get away with it here. And we got 1, 2, and we're going to do one over here. Okay. What I have left is a series of, and I didn't define them all, a series of pentagonal pyramids, pentagonal-based pyramids, where this is the pentagon, and then there's 5 star point triangles, which are isosceles triangles, but they're in the ratio and the angles of a 5-point star. Actually, each pentagonal pyramid could be unfolded into a 5-point star. Each one of these points here could actually be extended on the edge here. I better make them a little bigger. One more size bigger. And then you have that point could be folded down. There'd be a 5-point star here. But we just fold it up, and the apexes go to that. Make that pyramid. And as you can see, there's an initial pyramid here. I don't know. I should highlight more than just one face, but right here. And then what would be left is a smaller, I'm going to outline the points, smaller O tetrahedron or 4R. And within that, then there must be yet another pentagonal pyramid, and that continues onward. There's at each point, when you take the largest, or let's say in this case the largest one is the overall O tetrahedron, we take this pentagonal pyramid out, and then there's 2 of these tetrahedra left, which are the same as the overall one. And then, so therefore, each one can have a pentagonal pyramid within it, and then that goes onward. And you can see I put one up in here, right here, on either side of, these 2 are on either side of this one, whereas these 2 are on either side of this one. So anyway, that's the simplest subsectioning of the 3 tetrahedra, the M, N, and O, or 4P, 4Q, and 4R. Okay, so we're going to move on here. This one here is the 4Q, or the N tetrahedron. And it has 2 equilateral triangles, and that is because 5 of the 6 edges of this tetrahedron are the same, and only one is longer, and that's the edge, which would be 1.618 or phi larger than the 5 other edges. There's not as much you can subdivision here, but it's a very important subdivision. It's probably one of the most critical ones, which differentiates this modular system from what's been so far brought out there. And that is that this tetrahedron here is a 4R or a O tetrahedron. It's scaled smaller than this other one. But now we're left with 2 what I call shallow tetrahedra, these 2 here, and that's the amount I'm going to dissect or section this tetrahedron at this time. But I just want to point out that in this, okay, let me say I do this right here. In this sectioning, we do actually, of all times, we actually delineate or identify the 4R or two of the R's independently, which is about, I think, the only time we do that in this sectioning. You can see these orange lines, they're the lines you usually don't see in a lot of these constructions, but this is actually 4 R modules. You can see each one, two, oh, I don't want to highlight. Best way maybe is to go like this. There's one here, 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 and there's one out in front here too. Well, anyway, there's 4 of them. You can see the plus sign, so to speak, and then there's 2 left and 2 right-handed ones. Okay, now, oops, here it is. Sectioning the 4P or the M is the most complex, and that's just by its nature. I'd like it to be simpler. In this case, yeah, these are equilateral triangles. I have some depressions there showing, so let's just say, okay, this overall thing is equilateral triangle, and there's 2 of them, and then there's 2 of the star point triangles. And in this case, 5 of the edges are 1. The one edge is 0.618 in relationship to the other edges if they're 1. Now, as you can see, I've been able to fill in most of this form, but there's still these little depressions, and there are 6 of them, and they're all equal. I'm going to try to just kind of unravel this for a while and show you that it's made up of 4P, 4Q, and 4R in different sizes, and you can see also tetrahedrons M, N, and O. I'm not sure what I skinned first on this thing, so I think it's here. Well, it's over here. This right now, this is a 4P on the corner. And I think I take one out over here. Oh, no, now, oops, let's go back. Now this is a 4R or an O. I'm taking off the top here. Okay. Then, remember that when I was sectioning, I had those orange lines just recently on that other module here. That's this here. Those are those orange lines. I'm cutting this tetrahedron, the 4Q, right in half. And it has the shallow tetrahedron plus 2R. But I'm not actually cutting it in half. I'm actually going to cut it in half, but then I'm going to add the 2 R's over here, this one and this one. That's what makes the difference. That's a little larger than 2Q. It's 2Q plus 2R of the smaller size. And that's what this unit is here, right here. And I have one face off of it. Anyway, now I've shown that there's 2 of them. That's what those are. That's that extra orange there. I could have put the orange on this side to show it, but I didn't. Okay. Now, where'd I go? I went over here. I guess I'm showing this one is also a 4P, and it's pretty obvious. The overall shape is 4P, and now there's a 4P here and a 4P here that I'm taking off. They're scaled by phi. And then lastly, I'm going to take out the 4P. There's one here and one here. Take those off. So, where was I? Let's go next. Okay, so now we have this area in here that had to be filled in, and this area, well, it's not, this one isn't delineated, but it can be done with R's and Q's, and it's kind of like part of an icosa cap, for those who know that. Anyway, take out those lines. And then I filled in with smaller 4Ps or Ms, but I didn't actually use them. They're in those depressions, but it was one of the experiments. So I'm trying to strip this down. Okay, now I think I have it stripped down to, I don't know if you can see it yet, I don't expect it to, but this is part of an icosahedron. Perfect icosahedron that fits perfectly inside. So only two of its faces are exposed on the surface of the 4P. And then, so you're seeing 4 on that side, 4 on that side of the 20 faces. So then these kind of pinkish colored tetrahedra are star point tetrahedra that are emanating, solid, full ones emanating off the icosahedron, kind of part of the great stellated dodecahedron. And then here is a 4P in the valley that fits right in of the stellation. And then, oops, getting over here, start taking some of that out, I believe. What we had here is, you can see the icosahedron, and then you have, it's basically those stellations coming off of the icosahedron, the star point tetrahedron, and then you can backfill it with a icosa cap, and this is the bottom side of an icosa cap. So I can't remember how else I constructed this, but I guess I'm trying to ultimately show that there's this icosahedron in there. And I'm undoing at a rapid pace here. I guess I probably could have shown the icosahedron with its skin on it still. So anyway, that is how the icosahedron resides within the 4P or the M tetrahedron. This is going to be a long one. Okay, so then lastly, this is just the depressions, or the parts that weren't filled in yet, of the 4P or the M tetrahedron. What I want to show here is that if you look real closely, you can see that it's really part, and it's just not finished, it's really part of a shallow tetrahedron, and the only thing that's been removed basically is a 4Q or an N tetrahedron, and that, so to finish it off, we would have there's actually 6 of these shallow tetrahedrons that are interpenetrating, and it's funny because it actually shares a small shallow tetrahedron, is the part that they overlap on, besides some of this missing stuff that is still a star point tetrahedron, but nonetheless. But really, if you take off a 4Q off of the shallow tet, that's what this remaining piece really is. And I'm just trying to show that real quick here. And that is the point of this, is that it's complex, but it's kind of a repetitious thing, so it's not so bad. Maybe I'll take out this panel and this panel, and that should show you that is a this panel should go to. And I'm done with this video, but that is a shallow tetrahedron right here. As you can see, it overlapped, and 6 of them total, and we know how to build that from a prior discussion, and we also know that the 4P or the M tetrahedron is part of that. We also know that there's 2 shallow tetrahedron in the 4Q or the N tetrahedron. All right, thank you.